Welcome to the House of Thrillers. I'm Scully, the author that reads to you. If you like books on tape with a twist, stick around. Subscribe to the channel. It's that little red button below the video. And if you're on the phone, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Listen to the sound of my voice. Tonight, we're going to be reading Dutch Coffee Shop, chapter 36. So buckle your seatbelt, it's quite the ride, and we'll see you on the other side. Constantine had been pacing in the morning room since the break of day. The anticipation of getting his money back plus the cocaine he'd packed in his nose were the reasons for the edge in his step. His mind was a box of things that could go wrong. The odds favored that Hunt would show up with nothing. There's no way he's going to come in here and say, "Here's the money, where's my brother?" The American was smarter than that. Much more intelligent than they had thought. Although Hunt seemed to be thick on the surface, underneath a devious trickster had emerged. What do you expect? He's lived with us 10 years. The bloke speaks damn near perfect Dutch. He knows the streets and has endeared himself to the locals. No, Constantine reminded himself, don't make the same mistake twice. Sicilians don't do that. They learn from their missteps and they never let anyone know what they're really thinking. Hunt could not have foreseen the capture of his brother, and now he would have no choice but to hand over the money. He rubbed the stubble on his chin. To the unruly gangster, he said, "Make sure, Yari, when the American gets here, that he doesn't have company." Fizzer sat up on his hunches. "It's all under control. Don't worry about it." "Good then. I suspect we'll have no more problems from here. The servants have all been given the night off, even Mario." Just then, Fizzer's Nokia cell phone blared from his pocket. "Yeah, Fizzer," he huffed. And then a few seconds later, "Slow down, motherfucker. Tell me what the fuck happened." Yeah, okay." "Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll be up there in a fucking minute." "No, don't fucking move, you got that?" No, motherfucker. You stay right the fuck there." Visser slammed his phone shut. Constantine remained silent, waiting for Yari's explanation. Alarm bells ringing loudly in his head. "We got a fucking problem down at Dykestrad 24, Visser told him excitedly. "Evidently Mano and Klaus just hit the coffee shop. Hit? What the fuck you talking about? Fuck's sake if I know. Arno is pretty shook up. Is he okay? Edwin says they were lucky. Constantine glared, stone-faced. Fizzer walked over to the pile of cocaine and packed his nose full. It might be a trig. You called me when let me know at first sign of trouble. The Sicilian patted over and filled his nostrils too. As he wiped white powder from his nose and upper lip, he said, hurry up and see what the fuck is happening. Get right back over here. The Americans should be arriving soon. Yeah, Visser grumbled, glancing up at the clock on the wall. Check. When Visser returned, the Zealand boss was coked to the gills. Fretfully, Constantine said, is everything okay? In his lap, the Sicilian held on to his dog Yappers. The small hound gently licked his hand. Yeah, false alarm, Visser announced unobtrusively. Stunned, Constantine said, false alarm? What are you talking about, false alarm? Where's Edwin and Arno? Edwin stayed back at the coffee shop. And Arno? The unruly gangster hesitated before he spoke. However, with conviction, he said to the Sicilian, he's showing the guest in as we speak. Guests? Inquired Constantine. Yeah, friends of mine, Visser said. Friends of yours? What the hell are you? Casually, Mano Clyson strolled into the room, followed by Arno de Longa and Klaus de Cracker. What the fuck? Constantine spat, nearly choking on his Jack Russell. A new sheriff is in town, Mano Clyson said with a grin, mimicking John Wayne's voice. Visser moved toward Constantine, looking like he was going to break the Sicilian's neck. He said, the fucking game's up, cocksucker. I know you killed my brother. By the tone of Yari's voice, the Sicilian knew he was in trouble. Killed your brother? What do you mean killed your brother? I didn't fucking kill your brother. You're mistaken, lad. You've been tricked. Not this time, Visser said matter-of-factly. He wasted no time removing the diamond-studded brass knuckles. Now tie that motherfucker up. Klaus and Arno did just that, ignoring the Sicilian's otherwise commands. Mano Clyson enjoyed what he saw. The end was almost here. A long time coming, he said to himself. None of them ever saw a thing. To Visser, then Mano said, I've always wanted to see how you do this. And I've always wanted a Sicilian hat, Visser growled. Constantine knew what was about to happen. He couldn't imagine how Mano Clayson had orchestrated this. The bastard had the nut flush, and here he was, sitting on an ace high. Then and there, the Sicilian knew he was beat. He would nonetheless try to persuade Yari. Constantine said, "Listen to me, Yari. You're making a big mistake. There's no way I would have done something like this. It doesn't make sense. Think about it. You were my successor. Are you crazy?" The Sicilian quickly re-explained the highlights of their previous meetings. Like a startled possum, Yari froze. Oh shit, Constantine's right. How could I be so stupid? It was then and there that he heard the dawning laugh of Mano Clayson, accompanied by that awful clicking noise. And he knew it was too late. Klaus the Cracker had waited until Yari's attention shifted solely to Constantine. The rock star gangster pulled the trigger, splattering Yari's brain matter up and down the Sicilian's body. In a hump, the unruly gangster fell to the floor, brass knuckles clinking uncouthly on the marble. The iceberg diamond had busted free and now sparkled a few meters away from the deadly body. Big ol' Arno grabbed the magazine as if it would protect him. "No, Klaus," holding the centerfold up like a bulletproof shield. "Don't shoot. I don't want to die." Klaus the Cracker pulled the trigger. The bullet ripped through Samantha Fox's right nipple, striking Arno DeLonga in the throat. The overweight gangster grabbed his neck, staggering. Not wanting to accept his doom, but finding it impossible not to. In the middle of this chaos, Constantine Vanderbilt cursed loudly, like any pissed-off Sicilian would do. His lips moved, but no sound could be heard over the ruckus. When the aftershock subsided, he took one look at Mano and said, his face nearly popping as he spoke, "You bastard! It was you! You all along!" A momentary lapse of composure swept over the scholarly gangster. In an agitated tone, Mano said, "Shut your mouth. You'll get your moment to speak. But for now, you will behave. Those are the rules." The Sicilian looked at Mano like a jilted lover. "You make these demands on me? Me?" Who do you think you are, you fucking bastard? Forgetting his dilemma, the Sicilian's face defied his captor. Mano said, "Those are the terms. You must remain silent." Constantine now saw a side of Mano Clayson only heard in rumors. Through his nose, Mano Clayson gulped a lungful of oxygen. He smelled blood in the air. Seconds later, he fixed his gaze on the Sicilian and said, "You see, I was one step ahead of you the whole way. You remember Rosie, don't you? We grew up together, working for Timon de Boer. Don't you see? He was my mole. You must understand something, sir. It has been my plan from the beginning to take over Zeeland. Perhaps the end should have come later. Well, that was your fault when you decided to have Yari perform his services on Rosie at the farm." "My fault," Constantine said rhetorically. Mano Clayson had heard about all he could stand. If you want to hear the rest of the story, then you will hold your tongue." Constantine saw that he had no choice but to acquiesce. "Fine then. Let's hear it. First I took out Yanni. Just a simple job, really. Luckily for Hunt, and for me actually, the American survived the hit at Coffee Shop 24. Next came Rutger, who I killed most magnificently, and none of you could figure it out from there. It was the key to your madness, and Yari's. Who was jilting who was the big question. Kirk was my man in Amsterdam, Yari's faithful contact. Why do you think Yari suspected you anyway? He swallowed Kirk's hook, which I baited. But, how did you know about the money?" "Not another word," Clayson warned before continuing. "As far as the money, you can blame that one on Klaus's bitch, Femke van der Waal, who, by the way, I killed with my bare hands. She betrayed Klaus, you see. I saw it with my own eyes. It was too easy after that. We had the younger brother. Hunt had the money, and we knew about everything else. We just didn't have Hunt's whereabouts. That's where you came in." Constantine looked down at the indeed lifeless body of Yari Fisser, his successor. "You dead dunce," he thought. "He can't help you now, lad," Mano said. "I guess you get what you pay for. You should have treated your people better." The autistic man turned. Gazed at Constantine. Yari was quite easy to turn. Making him feel like you killed his brother, that was like shooting fish in a barrel. I only had to juice him up a little. You fucking freak. As if nature would allow the man no more, Mano Clyson transgressed into Mr. Hyde. From his back right pocket, his trusty pliers appeared. He wasn't smiling anymore. No, he was a madman. It appears that you have reneged on our deal. He grabbed the Sicilian's thick, bushy nape and yanked his head back. Constantine had no choice but to open his mouth to scream. And when he did, he felt the cold, sharp pliers locked around his tongue, pulling it outward past his lips. Mano had a firm grip on the strong muscle. With his tool clamped in place, he forced the Sicilian's tongue wayward. I told you not to talk. Then I warned you. Then I warned you again. It was the condition, remember? Klaus the Cracker knew what Mano wanted him to do. Constantine watched as the rock star gangster pulled out a butterfly knife and opened it with a deft nunchuck routine. Klaus came toward him with one swooping motion, severed half of the Sicilian's tongue from his body. Constantine was horrified when he saw that the blood began to pour from his mouth. Reflexively, his arms vibrated under the duct tape. And Mano, he held up the tongue like a trophy bass. It too dripped profusely. Boy, she's a beaut, he said, looking over at the Sicilian and adding, Oh, merde mio, where are my manners? The scholarly gangster stuffed the tongue back into Constantine's blood-drenched mouth. Consolingly, he said, I'm sorry. Do you have any last words? Constantine's body rejected the now foreign object. The bloody tongue flew through the air like a hacky sack and landed right next to the gory head of Yari Visser. Mano looked over at the unruly gangster's dead body. Yari, my boy, I think the boss is trying to tell you something. William, who was bound and strapped like the Sicilian man, looked on in horror. He wondered if he was next. Mano saw Constantine's dog Yappers over in the corner. The little beast looked on curiously at the bloody tongue on the floor, his nose sniffing maniacally. Mano went over and picked it up, the gory flesh, and said, Well, if you won't need this anymore. He whistled to the dog, beckoning it to come. The Jack Russell Terrier gingerly made its way forward. He listened to the strange man say, That's right, little fellow. A treat just for you. The bloody tissue wavered in front of him. Greedily Yappers, with his pointy teeth, snagged the tongue. Amusingly, Mano played tug-of-war with the little dog. Yappers wondered why the men in the room laughed when he growled. Nothing made sense about this scene. And why did this man tease him with the meat? He smelled blood. His master's blood. The dog dug in with his shoulders and finally forced the eccentric man to release the treat, allowing him to carry it over to the corner of the room. The yappers made a spot and dropped his forbidden beef in front of his paws. He lay down and showed everyone his toothy dog smile before chowing down. Chapter 36.